Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan. I'm very excited about this. I've been looking forward to filming this one because I've never had this bottle and it's been on my list. Things I've been hunting for a while. And big shout out to Randy, one of our supporters who found one of these while he was out and about. And he gave me a call. He's like, Ryan, I'm sitting here at the store and I see old Overholt 10yr. Would you like a bottle? I was like, yes, yes, yes. So he grabbed it for me, shipped it over to me. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. So this particular expression is brand new as of 2023. It comes out of the Jim Beam distillery. It is in fact their oldest brand name. The old Overholt brand kind of earned its old Overholt name because this brand goes back to 1810. That's some serious history on that brand. Jim Beam acquired the brand in 1987 to keep it alive and keep honoring what they do. So this is unfiltered, straight rye whiskey aged 10 years and bottled at cask strength. This was barreled in 2012. So the Overholt brand, they typically do like a bottled and bond line, and then they also do like a 43% ABV, so 86 proof expression of it as well. But what they did is they took kind of specific barrels that they liked, set them aside, and then they decided to age them in their escalator warehouse so they can move the barrel around to different elevations more easily, right? So it doesn't need to just go into a spot, stay into a spot. So it's a little bit interesting in that regard too, kind of experimental. It's where something really old meets an idea that's really new. And this right here is the product of that experimentation. So this is 121 proof. It retails for an MSRP of $99, which is pretty approachable for a 10-year at cask strength, right? So I'm gonna crack this open. This came highly recommended from people that I really trust, who know that I like rye. Let's get this poured. They really want you to do a generous pour because the opening on this is huge. It's not a small neck. Big old chonker. Oh man. I haven't even like fully nosed it yet, but just like putting the cap back on, I got a whiff. My very first thought was cherries. Yeah, there's like not a dark cherry. There's actually kind of a bright cherry on that nose. I grew up with 2 cherry trees in my backyard. So when I was a kid, I'd grab a book, I'd go climb one of the cherry trees, and I'd have like a little perch up in there. I'd sit down in my little perch, picking cherries right off the branches, popping them in my mouth while reading a book. And the bright cherries I'm getting on this nose, kind of takes me back to that. Nose also gives me some nutmeg, and I think of hazelnuts. You know, Jim Beam is known for having sort of a nutty quality to their bourbon. And I get a little bit, it's not that same peanut note. It's more like that hazelnut note, like Nutella spread or something, you know? Lots of baking spice on the nose too. I gotta say, I just love the bottling on this. It looks so old school, and I love that. I really appreciate that about the bottling. I love bottles that kind of have a real throwback look to it. I don't know what it is about that vibe, that appeal, but I dig it. Makes me feel like I'm about to drink something that has some rich history and heritage to it, which this brand certainly does. Yeah, the more I nose it, the more that bright fruit note comes through, and I really like that a lot. But I feel like the heat is coming when we drink this. I feel like the heat is coming with it being 121 proof rye. Let's do it. Cheers. I know I'm supposed to talk about the palate first, but I took that full sip. I've been sitting here for a few seconds, and that finish is so good. It is all like cherry and maple wood, and it lasts long time. And there's a little bit of like a note of those, you know, those cinnamon roasted almonds during like Christmas time. You go to the mall for your last minute shopping, and then, you know, they always had that kiosk set up somewhere in the middle of the mall, those cinnamon roasted almonds, and you can smell it everywhere in the mall. That finish is long. I'm getting ahead of myself though. Let me get back to the palate. Yeah, initially on the palate, I think of vanilla and pine. Almost sort of like a juniper quality to it. That black peppercorn comes on the tail end of that palate. And then as you transition from palate into finish, that cherry starts to rise to the surface. And then you just ride out on that cherry and maplewood note for a long time. I expected this to be really punchy, you know, really spicy. And there's spice in there, but it's not like too much. It's not overbearing by any means. Color on this is nice and dark too. Has a really nice dark hazelnut note to it as well. Man, that is really freaking good, man. That's a really good. That's wonderfully complex for a 10-year-old rye. Like I said, I was sort of bracing for impact. I didn't need to. It definitely has that characteristic rye spice to it, but it's in check. It's kept in check. It allows those other sweet notes to come through. That bright cherry, the maple wood, those cinnamon roasted almonds on the tail end. I know it's early. This is my first pour out of this bottle, but that might be one of the better ryes I have had in the last year, right? That's exceptional. What a great quality to that. Yeah. That's going to be a wonderful weekend pour anytime. Maybe something to share with a good friend when they come over. So I got to give this a score per my scale. I think for me, I'm going to drop this comfortably at a, how about an 8.8? Yeah, I like this a lot. This is fantastic. If you have the opportunity to pick up a bottle of Old Overholt at MSRP, I got to recommend that you do so. Or at least pay for a pour somewhere. And the more it sits, the more that cinnamon roasted almond is just kind of circulating right in the back here. Oh, so good. Old Overholt 10yr. Cask strength, straight rye whiskey. Try it. Get you some. I don't think you'll regret it. Hey, big thank you, Randy. I appreciate you, brother, for picking this up for me. Very kind of you. I'm excited to find a nice spot on my shelf for this. Also, big thank you to my Patreon supporters for helping fund the channel so I can pick up these bottles and review them right here for you guys. And can I make a request of you? If this is maybe your third, fourth video on the channel that you've tuned into, that you've seen so far, hey, kick your shoes off, take your coat off, stay a while. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We'd love to see you around here more often as well. Feel free to leave a like in the video, as that's the best free way to support the content here. Cheers, my friends. May you live richly and get better with age. Be warm and well fed, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.